What up ninjas, my name is Ethan and welcome to a new top 10 video. Today I'm going to be talking about the easiest characters to play with in Smash 4. And like the previous top 10s that I did, this is based on my personal opinion, so you can agree with that or you can disagree, it's both perfectly fine, but just don't go full retard in the comment section please, thank you. So before we start, I need to mention a short little disclaimer, because there's this other guy on YouTube and he already made two videos like this. One is called Easiest Characters to Master and the other one is called Most Difficult Characters to Master. And I've had this idea for a while, but I never really had time to put it into practice and play with all the characters to find out which ones are the easiest. So I hit him up on Twitter and I was like, yo dude, are you cool with it if I make a video like this? And he was fine with it as long as I gave my video a different structure. So to be honest, I haven't watched his video yet. The moment this one goes online, I will watch his to compare the characters that we both selected. And yeah, just check out his links in the description and let's get on with this video. Starting things up at number 10, we got Charizard. Now this list is by no means an attack on your character, it's just based on how many games I played on For Glory and how much time I spent with each of the characters on the Smash 4 roster and how many games I won and how easy it was for me to win against different opponents that play with different characters and have a different skill level. Also, if you couldn't tell already, this is based on casual play, not on competitive play, so any of the characters that I mentioned in these videos are characters that I would probably suck with in a tournament. But on For Glory or during your friendly, that's a whole different story. Charizard's moveset is really easy to learn. The only reason why I didn't rank him any higher on this list is because you need a lot of patience in order to play good with Charizard. So almost every match I played with Charizard, I was able to grab my opponent, do a down throw, and then end up with a fair. And that is a true combo on most of the characters until like 70, maybe 80%. And that is really convenient because from there you could do all sorts of things. You could jab into a B, you could even wait for your opponent to roll and then catch him with a flare blitz. And if you have that 50% rage going on, I'm pretty sure you can kill your opponent with that. Recovering as Charizard also isn't a big problem. He has 3 jumps, and then on top of that he also has armor frames on his up B. So you can go all sorts of ways. You can even recover with a flare blitz if you just sweet spot the ledge. And yeah, Charizard, it's just, I had a lot of fun with this character, and most of the games that I played, I still ended up having 2 stocks, and I think I was below 100%, so that was really cool. Spot number 9 goes to Marth. In one of my previous videos I mentioned how much I dislike playing against Marth mains, and actually picking up the character myself has proven that point even more. Also, for some reason For Glory seems to be infested with Marth mains, and I think it has something to do with MK Leo winning a major tournament using Marth, but this was actually kind of good for me because this way I could test out my Marth compared to other players that have actually been maining Marth, or at least I'm assuming that they have been maining Marth, because they would throw out some fancy combos that would end up giving me 20, maybe 30%, and then I would just use my basic Marth knowledge, for example space them out with a fair, a down tilt, and then end up with a random tipper. Now I'm gonna say random tipper because hitting the tipper consistently was the only thing that was really difficult for me to learn when playing Marth. Now the tipper is mainly used to finish off a stock, but there are a lot of other tools that Marth has in order to rack up damage real quick. Take his side B for example, like especially if you angle it sideways or downwards, it would do massive amounts of damage, and I think it hit my opponent maybe 7 out of 10 times, and those are really good numbers. Then you also have the neutral B, which is really good to break shields, but you can also use it to recover or maybe even space out your opponent, because sometimes they will notice that their shield is about to pop, and they will just take the hit, and that's the more free damage for you. Now when you got some level 2 rage going on and you see your opponent charging a smash attack, try to use your counter. You'll be surprised how early that can kill your opponent. So to be honest, I still don't like Marth, but that doesn't change the fact that I managed to get good results while having basic knowledge about this character. Coming in at number 8 we got Donkey Kong. At first I didn't expect him to make it on this list, but when I actually started playing him, I noticed that his combos and his skill setups were a bit easier than I had imagined, so that was kind of a good thing. Now I play Bowser myself, and as a heavyweight character, you would expect them to be slow, but I didn't have that with Donkey Kong. His back air comes out extremely fast, so does his down tilt, and he can just do a pivot grab and just combo you to maybe 30-35% if you execute it correctly, and that is really good. Another reason why I didn't expect Donkey Kong to make it on this list is because his up B is considered to be kinda crappy, but that is actually not the case at all. Like, it is true that if you get Donkey Kong below a certain horizontal limit, then he will not recover because his jump is just, it's nothing, and then his up B, it doesn't go very high either. But when you actually get knocked off the stage, try to go for a high recovery, and you'll be surprised at how many times you can make it back to the stage and then just continue the fight. Unlike most heavyweights, I don't consider DK to be just combo food. Whenever you get into a combo because of a whiffed attack or a beautiful setup by your opponent, you can just use your neutral air, your up B, or just land and use a regular jab in order to get out of the combo and turn things to your advantage. Last but not least, I want to mention his side B. That thing is so good for breaking shields or just trapping your opponent, and then you can finish them off with a regular smash, or you can just set up a glorious Dong expansion. Up next on the list is Toon Link, and this guy has to be the definition of an easy character, because he seems like no risk and high reward all the way. One of my friends has been playing Toon Link ever since Smash 4 came out, and every time I play against him, I'm like, why is this character, why can't he just do everything and get away with it? And I thought it had something to do with his timing, and believe it or not, he is actually really good with Toon Link, and he knows pretty much anything about the character. But when I picked up Toon Link, I had the same thing, and that was really fun to play with, because I could just basically do anything and get away with it. If I whiffed an attack, there was pretty much no consequence, because I could just react to it and throw out a new move. There are some times when Toon Link is really vulnerable, and that is when you miss a grab, or when you take out a bomb if you're standing too close to your opponent. Speaking about bombs, Toon Link's bomb allows you to set up so many kill options, and that is just amazing. Like, your opponent can be 110%, you can hit him with the bomb, jump, and then do a forward air or a back air, and that will be the stock. I always thought that Mario's up tilt was a really cheap move to use at low percentages, but Toon Link's up tilt is actually worse than that. If you get trapped by Toon Link's up tilt, you're gonna be in trouble, because that thing is good for about 4 to 5 hits, and then you can finish off with an up smash, which should be good for 30, maybe 35%, and that's a really good way to start off a game. Now, the last thing that I want to mention about Toon Link is that his back throw is also really good. If you can manage to get a grab near the ledge at 100% or something, your opponent should be dead. Speaking about back throws, up next at number 6 we got Ness. Ness is one of those characters that I always thought was really hard to use until I actually started playing him myself. And that kind of goes for every character that I'm mentioning in this list, because the only thing that you really need to master from Ness is his recovery. The moment you got that under control, you can put in so much work and the stage is basically yours. At first I was kind of thinking about putting Lucas on this list instead of Ness, but I think that Lucas requires a bit more skill in order to be good with him than you need with Ness. So besides his back throw, I think all of Ness's moves are really good. For example, you can just trap your opponent with a PK fire, grab him, do a down throw, and then throw out a couple of forward airs. And if you actually get hit by those forward airs, try to DI away from them, especially when you're going off the stage, because that way you can just go below Ness and try to recover that way instead of just going against him and being knocked off the stage too far, leaving you unable to recover. Lastly, when you got his up B under control, you can just mess around with your opponent, kind of confuse him a little bit, and then you can hit yourself and just KO him at 50% or something. It doesn't get any better than that. Next up we got Little Mac. I'm pretty sure that most of you were expecting Little Mac to be on this list, but there is one thing that I just need to mention before I even get started. Like, the year is 2017. Stop using your freaking side B when you're too close to the ledge. You will kill yourself, that's gonna be a stock, and sometimes you guys even do it twice. Like, I'm not sure if you're just trolling or if it's really just a tactic, but it doesn't work. Good, now that we've got that out of the way, Little Mac is a really easy character, and that is because of his strength and his speed. His smashes have armor frames, and his down tilt is basically the setup for every glorious combo that you want to execute while playing as Little Mac. Now, it isn't all sunshine and happiness, because Little Mac's recovery is kind of worthless. Keep in mind that you have a wall jump, so on stages where it's possible, try to use that, and that just makes recovering a bit easier. Now, the most fun thing about Little Mac is his KO punch. This thing can be quite glitchy sometimes, so I think it's better to just whiff it instead of not using it at all. The 4th spot goes to Mario. I think that Mario's entire design is based on him being easy to play, because kind of everything about him is okay, but it's not that great either. So like his up B, it goes far, but it doesn't go too far. His neutral game, it's kind of quick, but it also has a couple of flaws because it doesn't have that much of a reach. His special moves are amazing, and I think that makes Mario one of the few characters where you want to use all of the special moves that he has. You can use his fireball for spacing, you can use his side B to just get out of an ugly situation or to just gimp your opponent, and his flood is good for that last reason as well. If you're just getting into Smash 4, I think that Mario is a great character to learn the game with, and this was the same for me, because when I first got the game, I was struggling so much to find a main character, and I was losing so many games too. And then one of my friends told me to pick up Mario, and I think I trained with him for maybe 2 days, and after that I went on for glory and I started winning a lot of matches. The only disadvantage that I think that Mario has is that he needs to be really close to his opponents, and I struggle a lot against sword characters. I, for some reason, cannot get close to them because they just outspace me with their sword, and I end up taking massive amounts of damage before I can do something. But yeah, Mario is definitely one of the easier characters to play with in Smash 4. Alright, we finally made it to the top 3, and at number 3 we got Captain Falcon. I think that everyone and their mom can play with Captain Falcon. Like, if I would give my mom a joystick and I would just explain the basics of it, she would just do really well with Captain Falcon. And she might just accidentally give someone a knee of justice in her first game. No, but in all seriousness, I think that Captain Falcon is one of those characters that everybody can play with. I think you've all been in a situation where you were done with friendlies, or you just don't want to play serious on For Glory anymore, but you still want to play some Smash, and then the go-to character is Captain Falcon. You just do Falcon dittos and you have a lot of fun with it. But after a while the matches become really repetitive, because when I'm playing as Captain Falcon, basically all I do is just grab my opponent, throw him off the stage, and try to hit him with a down air. Or I just get him into a jab block and I try to do a knee of justice. It has gotten to that point and I'm not sure if I should be happy with that. But yeah, Captain Falcon is still a lot of fun to play with. The only thing that you might need to get a hang of is his speed. Like, he runs really fast, and sometimes when you want to do a dash grab, you end up missing your opponent and then you just dash past him, which leaves you open for a punish. On the other hand, that could also have something to do with my timing. To summarize Captain Falcon, he has a lot of great moves such as his up air, his back air, and his down tilt, and it is really easy to get up close and personal and just wreck your opponent. Oh snap, look at who we got incoming at number 2. I want to talk some shit about Yoshi, but that's not the point of this video, so I'm gonna do my best to contain myself and just actually explain why Yoshi is so easy to play with. I just told you guys how Toon Link can use any move and get away with it, and that is times 10 with Yoshi. His moves come out super fast, and basically every move just combos into one another. Now, I really don't want to admit it, but I actually had a bit of fun while playing as Yoshi. On the other hand, I was totally disgusted with how he can just do anything against any character, and it kind of makes me feel bad for the people that I played against. I really thought that button bashing was not possible in Smash 4, but Yoshi can make that work. You could just start up a game and press random buttons, and you don't even need to press anything special for his recovery. If you use his X, he can go a bit further to the left or a bit higher, but just using his double jump is enough. So I've seen some fancy combo videos from Yoshi mains, and I didn't need any of that. I didn't even go into the lab with Yoshi. I just went on For Glory, and the first couple of matches that I played, I think I won all of them by just pressing random buttons and thinking, oh, this might link into that, and it actually ended up working. I think that about sums up Yoshi, and now it's time to move on to the easiest character to play with in Smash 4. Oh snap, it's your boy 599 to win. The number 1 spot definitely belongs to Cloud, and I did my absolute best in order to think of another character that could fill this spot, but to be honest, there isn't any. His up air is nearly perfect, his down air doesn't have any landing lag when used correctly, and there's also his side B. Now, don't worry if you whiff the side B if you miss it. You would think that your opponent should be able to punish you then, but that's not the case. You can just do jab 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 or do whatever, and it'll come out faster than your opponent can react. Now there's another reason why I gave Cloud the first spot, and this little story is also going to be the end of this video, so let's get right into it. When I first got this game, one of my friends was already really good at it, and he played Brawl and he also played Melee, but every time that we played a match I would get completely destroyed, like I would get bodied over and over again. I think until Cloud came out we played around 500 matches or something, and out of those 500 matches I won like 5, maybe a maximum of 10 games. Anyway, fast forward a bit until Cloud was released, and I just started winning games in a magical way. I practiced with Cloud for like a day, and suddenly I was just competing with him, and that was really odd. Same thing happened on For Glory, by the way. I would get matched against opponents that would just completely destroy my mains, and then I would pick my day 1 Cloud and I could just compete with them, or even win the match. It was kind of ridiculous actually. So yeah guys, I think that about sums up this video. I'm really curious if you agree or disagree with the list, and what your list would be, so leave that in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you at my next video. Peace!